I'm Joanna Small, the Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, November 3rd, and these are your weekend high or lowlights, depending on how you look at them. It's essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we always like to start these off with a few fast facts. We answered 267 calls for service, and our traffic team made 56 traffic stops just on Saturday and Sunday. Now here are those highlights in chronological order. Overnight Thursday, a concerned citizen called in a vehicle that was stopped on the train tracks in the 5700 block of Brighton Boulevard, with the driver passed out behind the wheel. When officers arrived, they found the driver still asleep. They woke him up and determined he was heavily intoxicated. They removed him from the vehicle and moved the vehicle off the train tracks. He was arrested for driving under the influence, driving under restraint, driving after license revocation for being a habitual traffic offender, and having an open alcohol container in the vehicle. Also overnight Thursday, officers responded to the 7100 block of Quebec Street for what came in as an active burglary. When they arrived, they found the reporting party holding down the suspects, who were determined to be juveniles who were ding-dong ditching. They kicked the door of the residence, which then swung open and left a hole in the wall, but they hadn't intended on breaking into the house. The kids were cited for damaging property. On Friday, officers were dispatched to Tower Road and 81st Avenue after a woman said a man had flashed a gun at her following a road rage incident. The victim said the suspect cut her off and brake checked her a few times, then waved a handgun out the window. Unfortunately, the victim was unable to get the suspect vehicle's license plate, and officers were unable to locate that suspect vehicle. On Saturday morning, officers responded to an injury crash at East 104th Avenue and Florence Street that turned out to also be a DUI. A driver rolled his vehicle, which then landed upright in the median after the vehicle struck a street sign and a curb. Officers located 3 open and empty alcohol containers on the ground near the crash site. They also learned the driver had 2 separate active protection orders against him, which prohibited him from consuming alcohol. He is now facing DUI, violation of a protection order, and careless driving charges. His vehicle was impounded. Also on Saturday, officers located a suspicious vehicle in the area of East 69th Avenue and Cremeria Street. The back window was busted out and a bag with suspected methamphetamine was in plain view. 3 of the doors were also glued shut and the VIN on the vehicle was obscured. Officers were able to uncover the VIN and determine the vehicle was in fact stolen. It was recovered and towed to be reunited with its rightful owner. Overnight Saturday, another agency requested CCPD contact a first-degree burglary suspect. The other agency had probable cause to arrest. The suspect was known to carry firearms. Officers responded to the residence in the 6900 block of Jasmine Street and began giving order outs over the PA system. Shortly after announcements began, the suspect exited the home and was taken into custody without incident. The suspect was turned over to the other jurisdiction's agency. On Sunday, officers responded to a robbery in the 7200 block of Monaco Street. 2 suspects stole 2 carts full of merchandise from Save-A-Lot, and when confronted by employees, one of the suspects put her hand in her waistband and threatened to shoot the victims. Using the suspect's getaway vehicle license plate and surveillance footage of the incident, officers were able to identify one of those suspects. She's facing aggravated robbery and theft charges. Overnight Sunday, officers responded to the 8600 block of Verbena Street for a fight between 2 men in which one of them was seriously injured. The suspect struck the victim twice in the face, and the victim fell and hit the back of his head on a tire rim, resulting in a large laceration and a welt. The victim was transported to the hospital for treatment, and the suspect is facing second-degree assault charges. And finally, and again overnight Sunday, an observant CCPD patrol officer conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle driving erratically near Highway 2 and Holly Street. The driver cut off our patrol vehicle and was drifting in and out of lanes of traffic. When the driver eventually pulled over, the officer determined he was under the influence of alcohol and arrested him for DUI. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. Have a safer week, Commerce City, and remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.